Before you get ready to film, there's several things that you need to be aware of. During this video, we'll try and go through them and offer advice on how to get best results. When going from a warm environment to a cold environment, or vice versa, condensation can accumulate on equipment, and in particular cameras. Condensation on the lens of a camera can cause a blurring of the image.
We can see this around the edges of Tom's jacket.
However, condensation in the tape mechanism is a lot more problematic. It can cause problems with the signal being put onto tape, which looks a little bit like this, or in worst case scenarios, it can even cause a tape to tear or the mechanism to break completely. In order to get around this when moving from a cold environment to a warm environment, you need to give your equipment 15 minutes to acclimatise before using it. Condensation on the lens can be wiped off with a cloth. It would be worth bearing this in mind when positioning the camera at live events, for instance. Position the camera away from any cold drafts such as a club door. When we're filming, it's important that we don't view the footage until it's complete. If we do, we can very often cause breaks in the timecode. Timecode is a timing laid down on tapes as we record onto them. This can cause problems when capturing, as the timecode will reset to 0 every time it's broken, sometimes crashing the PC when breaks are frequent and making the location of edits very difficult to find. It's important we give the camera plenty of roll time before and after shots. If we don't, it causes problems when editing, but can also lead to missing important footage. Have a look at these two clips here and how they're filmed. Go. Definitely. 5, 4, 3. We can get around this by pressing record before a countdown and stopping the recording after a countdown. Excessive vibrations can also cause problems with the signal being put onto tape. This clip shows how setting the camera up too close to a PA speaker has distorted the signal. Obviously bear this in mind when positioning your equipment. Many students struggle with framing. This can be difficult because even though our tripods have spirit levels, they aren't the best, and you can't always guarantee that the floor is completely level. A good guide is to look at the vertical lines in the shot and try and position these with the side of the LCD screen. Once the tripod is adjusted, you can pan back to the required shot. White balance is an essential part of professional filming and can be a concern even with the most basic of equipment. Basically, light has a spectrum. We see this when there is a rainbow and the spectrum is fragmented by rain. Depending on the light source and its temperature, the light will have a slight colour. There are variations, but in a nutshell, natural light is blue in the spectrum and artificial light is orange in the spectrum. What this means is that a white sheet of card will appear blue outside and orange inside.
If we keep an eye on Steve's shirt as he walks from outside to inside, we can see how the different light sources affect the colour of the shirt. We can be quite creative with white balance also. By applying the wrong white balance outside, we can give the impression that it's early morning.
Inbuilt in the cameras is a white balance setting. This allows you to change between preset indoor and outdoor settings. However, the camera doesn't always get it completely right, so keep your eye on the colours in your shot and how they are displayed on the camera. And if necessary, set the white balance yourself using a white piece of card. You can find out how to do so on the help sheets in the camera bags and the advanced functions video. Obviously when filming you need to be aware of health and safety. Think carefully about what you're going to film and where it will be, and what the weather could be like. Obviously filming on a steep grass slope by the side of a lake on your own after 40 hours heavy rain isn't a good idea. You can get a detailed 5-day weather summary on the BBC Weather website. When filming, we can quite quickly find ourselves with a large number of shots and takes. It's a good idea to keep an edit log so that we know what the shots are and at which point they're on the tape. If you have any questions or queries, please feel free to ask one of the tutors or one of the technicians, or alternatively you can email them. Thank you very much for watching.